installment of Costello Port, where I take boring topics like general administration, or admin as I dub it. I just want to share a little bit with you today about the importance of dealing with your taxes and how it can get more complicated, how to go about it, how to keep organized. I want to take these boring topics that I feel are actually really crucial and important. Stuff that should be taught in school and generally isn't, like how to balance a checkbook. Obviously, it's all digital now, but you get the picture. How to stay on top of your taxes, how to file the correct forms, how to start small businesses, how to transact finances, how to invest. All of this falls under the category, in my opinion, of administration or admin. Today, I'm just going to briefly touch on taxes. I know it is now nearing the end of February. We have until the middle of April, as usual, to file our taxes as U.S. citizens, of course. This does not apply to other countries, United States of America. I don't know how it works other places, but we have a very strict, regulated tax system here. You can think and feel however you want about that. I have my own feelings that I inherited from my late father, who was a small business owner. He wasn't very fond of them. I, however, with the concept of yoga and equanimity, I choose to just follow suit and play along. If you don't deal with this, there are repercussions, there are consequences. And the IRS and the general, I would just say generally, state governments are all very interested in collecting money. If you don't pay them, they will take it from you. I've done my own experiments. I've even had my bank levied before because I refused to pay the state of Minnesota. Not a good idea. I actually did it on purpose. It's a long story. I wanted to see how ruthless they would get, and I had the money. And a levy only affects you if you do not have the funds in your bank account. If a levy is placed on your bank account and you do not have sufficient funds, you will not be able to withdraw a single penny until that debt is resolved. It's ruthless. My personal suggestion is always have cash, always have a backup, always have other accounts. You know, just in case something happens to you, you may want to have some backups. And more importantly, just pay the government. Anyways, I'm not a spokesman for the US government. I'm saying from my own lessons, it's just wise to just do what you're supposed to do. And I have found that because I act like that now, my life is a lot, I wouldn't say easier, it's a lot less stressful because that is an enormous stress. So taxes. He's rambling. All right, I chose H&R Block because they have a huge company. They have lots of locations. They have everything stored digitally, so you can access previous returns. You can use previous returns as digital signatures, etc., etc. I like to have access. I also do a tax pro. My taxes are a little more complicated than the average person because of investments, because of an inherited IRA, because of various things that I've undertaken, because I have businesses, etc., etc., etc. There is a point when you are not going to be able to do this on your own. So you can use their software, but they're going to rope you into having a tax pro at least look over your return. And the great thing about that is, especially if you hire fully the tax pro to do things for you, one, you can save yourself a bunch of effort. Two, if you want to do the cheaper one and just have them review it, I mean, you're really off the hook for a lot of things. You get one flag on that return, you give them one reason to audit you, it's going to be a nightmare. And in companies like that, there are other companies. It's just that H&R Block will sort of insure you to some extent. They've got your back. If something goes wrong, they're going to help you through it. I wouldn't want to do that on my own. So I was actually behind a little bit. I did an extension last year and I failed to file it until January, and I said, well, I'll just do them together. I paid in advance. When you do an extension, you have to pay 90% or so in advance, at least to the state government. So I had already paid Minnesota, for example. That's generally the one that's lingering. And They don't seem to care if you pay them most of the money in advance. This is what I found. I didn't have any problems. I figured, all right, well, I don't want to push my luck, so let's get this taken care of. So I did 2022, and then I also did 2023 at the same time. Now, I hired a tax professional for approximately $300 a pop. However, I'll show you why I didn't really want to do it, nor was I able to, especially with crypto and investing. It starts to get really sticky. Just an example, this is just the documents from investing and whatnot for my personal return altogether. Most of this is from crypto and stock investments. Look at that. It's ridiculous. I didn't want to do that all myself. My tax professional typed most of it up for me while I sat there and stared. It was great. Actually, I was playing on my phone and posting stories to Facebook. I wasn't just doing nothing. And then where do we put it, right? So over time, I used to just throw things. That's how I used to organize. I'm just doing this for display now. So this thing back here, it's very handy. Organizing doesn't have to be complicated. I like to have one of these things out for things that I'm working on in the short term. Example. Oh, here's 2022. Already done. Direct deposit already received. I have other methods back there, as you can see. Can you see those? So, that first one is for things that are on deck that I'm working on. Semi-permanent filing. And of course, other things around here in the office. I'll just show you an example. I have a case here with all these binders. My whole thing with the office scene is be really organized. Trust me. Make things really easy to access, be able to see them. You know, books are over there. Printer, everything is over here. All the binders over here. Semi-permanent filing system on deck. Obviously, I have that put away. Mostly, I generally keep the desk clear. Keep the desk clear. So when you're working on projects, it's not cluttered. Took me 15 years to figure that out. Or not figure it out, to apply it. 15 years. I have some handicaps. And one of them is this organization thing, this pack rat, the hoarding. I have issues with that. So I have to put extra energy into something that maybe somebody else would just eat. What's wrong with you? That's super easy. Yeah, not for me. All right, we'll put it away. So I can kind of show you how that works. All done. Hope that was helpful. Do your taxes. Namaste, everyone. More Costello Port to come.